Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of OafDiscussions. I'm your host, Kid Swift. With me as always, Mr. Brent.
Doing it for the culture today.
Yeah.
Shayna.
Just be honest, all these girls look like a Build-A-Bay.
And Webb.
It looked like he died, and it's like, well, I don't care.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of OafDiscussions. I'm your host, Kid Swift, the man with the gift here to uplift, always on time and never switching shifts. With me, as always, is the Shiki Don Dada, Mr. Brent.
Whoa, I'm not even prepared for that one. I feel like I gotta come with a Val Venus.
Right? Yeah, nice.
Hello, ladies.
Right? Yeah.
Oh, that was so gross.
Oh, it was. Yeah.
What up, yo?
What's good? What's good? And to my left, as always, Oafington's very own, the only black Miles Morales, Mr. Webb.
Oh, okay. Okay, I was wondering where you were going with that. I was like, the only black Miles Morales. Like, he was black.
Yeah, no, he was mixed. And I said only black.
Okay.
He's just black.
He's not a mudblood.
Yeah. You are the just black Miles Morales.
What is going on with you, man?
Nothing much, man.
Oh,
Pretty
wow.
good. Pretty good.
I apologize for starting the show later than it is. I've been on CPT time lately, but I have a very good reason, meaning not at all, for today. I'll explain later.
That's always a good, that works. Welcome everybody back to another episode. We got a bunch of shit to talk about actually today.
Yes. Oh, you know what?
Yeah.
First and foremost, before we get started on anything regarding how the weeks were and topics of the day, first and foremost, rest in peace to the following people. This has been a wild week.
Yeah, it has.
As far as the number of people that have died.
It has.
First one, to my knowledge, was Bruno Sammartino.
Yep.
He died at 82. For those that aren't aware, he was a professional wrestler back in the old school days, like pre-Hulk Hogan. Died at 82.
Yep.
His claim, all right, the biggest thing that you can take away from as far as like a trivia, if you need to, is that he was the longest reigning world heavyweight champion. This man had his title for 8 consecutive years.
Jesus Christ, nobody could touch it.
Yeah, and the only reason he relinquished it was because he was just, I'm done. It's
He
didn't even get beat.
Oh, that's great. He just retired.
He was like, I'm done. And then he came back.
Yeah.
And won it again. And had that for 4 consecutive years.
Ooh,
So
he's a beast. That's awesome.
Rest in peace to Bruno Sammartino.
Yep.
Rest in peace to Harry Anderson, who I'm just now finding out about. A lot of people may not know this actor, but I actually recognize him from Night Court. Which, that is hands. I used to watch that when I was younger. I didn't know what the hell was going on. What the hell was going on?
Right.
All I knew was that was one of the dopest theme songs.
Oh yeah.
And on as far as sitcoms go,
I don't know if you've seen it, but a lot of times what he'll do, Ninth Wonder, he'll put up random he'll just get in a theme, and he'll just put up the same thing, and one day he put up old intro theme songs from old TV shows, and that was one of them, and it was basically putting them up to hey, you could try to sample this if you want to, type thing. But that was one of the ones I remember that stood out.
Cameron had a song that sampled Night Court.
Yeah.
I can't remember the name of it now. I just remember it being on the radio, and then I was hearing a beep, 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 beep. I was like, hey! I was like, yeah, but that's all I remember from that.
Wasn't Night Court set in Cincinnati, correct?
I believe so.
I thought so.
Like I said, I was young when I watched it.
It's been a while. Yeah.
I tried watching it again on TV, what was it, TV Land or Me TV or something like that.
Yeah.
And Keisha was like, "How much longer are you going to watch this?" And it had just came on, and I was like, "All right, fine. Let me wait till the theme song plays, and then we can turn the channel."
It's I want to watch Night Court.
Rest in peace to Harry Anderson. Another name we have, R. Lee Ermey.
Okay.
An actor a lot of y'all know from Full Metal Jacket.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah,
so that's really the role that everyone would know him as. That was his shining moment right there.
Absolutely.
I don't want to sit there and try to do it any justice or injustice
right.
and try to copy what he did and go from there.
So good.
I almost did that. I never knew they stacked shit that high. But anyway, rest in peace to R. Lee Ermey. Another name, Vern Troyer.
Yeah,
a lot of people, you know him as Mini-Me, and honestly, that's really all, a lot of people will know him as.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
He died at 49.
Yeah.
honestly, he looked older.
Yeah, he did.
Just based on his like appearance, sometimes with a bald head.
Yeah. But yeah, it had been so long since I'd seen him, and I know he had been like recently. He did a lot of like he has had his own like YouTube channel. He was doing stuff on.
Oh
yeah,
huh.
yeah. But other than that one kind of surprised me, just because obviously kind of came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
And the last name that, to my knowledge, that I'm aware of, rest in peace to Avicii.
Yes.
Died at 28.
Yeah, that was crazy because when that happened, one of the things I saw, there was a couple people. There was one specific video that somebody posted from, I think it was in Stockholm, and the square was like, there was like thousands and thousands of people out there, and they were playing the what is it, the sometimes I
Levels.
get a good fit. Levels, and it was one of those first moments where it was like, wow, like he's the first like new age person that's like massive that has passed away, and we're seeing how he's being mourned and remembered. Yeah. And it's crazy because like we've seen obviously obviously it's the 2-year anniversary of Prince died, and we've seen like how like people like singing and playing, they're like classic songs.
Yeah.
But it's very interesting to see like people like blasting, like you said, like blasting Levels and singing along with it, and like that's how they're remembering this guy that was way too young.
Yeah, and had only been really kind of like mainstream for like 5 years or so.
Yeah, and the interesting thing about it was just recently he had said that he was, I think it was last year, he basically stepped back from touring in order to focus on his health. And then this happened.
I didn't get too far into any articles or anything like that.
I didn't see any direct details of exactly like what happened. I don't know if it was just like he just like wore out. I don't know what it was, but he had said specifically about a year ago that he was stepping back from touring specifically because he was wanting to focus on like staying healthy. Because obviously a lot of people don't know this out of it from experience, but that can take a huge toll on you if you're just traveling, not sleeping, and then most of the time, most people will be eating and drinking basically whatever, and your body's just like, no, dude, fucking, that's it. Like, I'm either going to shut down to where you like fall out, or I'm going to shut down completely.
Yeah, like artists like Beyonce or Usher was at one point. As far as
Rick Ross had a seizure.
Exhaustion.
Yeah, Rick Ross had a seizure.
I think Bieber had something with exhaustion.
I think he passed out on stage.
Yeah,
there's been plenty of.
So yeah, it's not like it's not like it's something.
Let's not forget like DMX.
Oh yeah,
Tyrese.
Yeah, Tyrese. Yeah.
Oh, you talking about exhaustion, or are you talking about substances?
Also
also that.
Substance.
Yeah, that's obviously not going to help.
No, not at all.
Right.
That's exactly what you just reminded me. I was listening to the Bill Burr podcast.
Oh yeah.
I can't remember which week it was.
Yeah.
Well, he was sitting there talking to another fellow comedian, and he was sitting there talking about like the guest that he had on. I'm mad I can't remember his name. Mm-hmm. He was talking about how like when you go visit a city and you're around people and they're going like, hey, let's go out to drink, or let's smoke this, or let's snort this, blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
And that, he says, like when they say that to you, that's their weekend. That's them building up to this weekend, their one moment.
Right.
You are doing this everywhere you go.
Yeah, this is like your Friday. It's like, yeah.
Yeah, it's like, this is like not daily, but you are constantly doing this way more than the people that you're hanging out with.
Yeah.
And so sometimes you got to sit there and learn to kind of build that restraint, yeah, willpower, or just to kind of go like, nah, I'm good, or you end up getting a dependency.
Right, exactly.
And not saying as far as the people that we just mentioned had that thing going on for them, but that's also another factor that can play
purely out of
on
repetition,
an artist, on a performing artist.
Yeah,
health.
And outside influence, repetition of being in those situations over and over again. But it's crazy. Because I remember the funny thing was that I first thought about when I saw Avicii died. One, I was like, I saw somebody tweeted just R.I.P. Avicii, and I was like, get the fuck out of here. And then all of a sudden I saw it like come up like from like a credible source. I was like, what the fuck?
Right.
And the first thing I thought about, and it's not really making fun of Avicii, but it was just a funny thing I remember, is when Jay-Z and Kanye were touring Watch the Throne.
Yeah.
They dropped Levels at every show.
Oh yeah.
And it was funny because there was just like somebody made like a montage of like all the video from every like concert, and it was just like then we'd be like, oh yeah, you like that song? You guys like this song? And it was just like it was just dropping like every time, and they were just in there like jamming. Like it was just so funny that every time, just randomly like Jay-Z and Kanye were just on stage like dancing around the levels by Avicii.
You know what that kind of reminds me of? Son of a bitch. Chaos. There we go.
Okay.
When we first saw, like when Drake first performed at Memorial Coliseum in UK, before he was way bigger than he is now, obviously.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
The guest that he had was Francis and the Lights was first.
No. Gym Class Heroes. And you talking about was it Memorial?
Memorial Coliseum before before Gym Class Heroes, because J. Cole was with Gym Class Heroes that other night that you're talking about, right?
That was J. Cole.
Okay.
Unless I've got it mixed up. I don't remember it being Francis though. Because how long ago was that? Because Francis is fairly new.
This was very, very. This was obviously a long time ago. This was probably maybe prior to Best I Ever Had, or at that same time.
Yeah, I don't think it was Francis because
yes, it was.
Really?
Yeah.
See, I thought my thing was I could have swore I read an article recently that said like Francis had only been like really touring and like performing for like 5 or 6 years, which I assume this was longer ago than that.
Yeah.
But maybe I had that wrong.
I can double check for you, but I remember it was a name I wasn't familiar with, and then you were sitting going like, "Yeah, Francis and the Lights, blah 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 blah," and I was like, "All right, well, I'm really looking forward to Chaos.
Yeah, exactly.
This is who I'm here for.
Okay,
this is who I'm here for."
I remember that.
And then he got up there.
He
didn't perform the songs that like we were into, like Superstar.
Exactly.
He didn't perform Superstar.
Yeah, I couldn't believe that.
Oh my god! And then
that was ridiculous.
He kind of cut a lot of his songs in half and stuff, and then he performed "Don't Stop Believin'," or not performed it. He played it
and just sung over it.
And it was like, "Yeah, y'all join in." Blah blah blah. I was like, "What the fuck are you doing? What is this?" I was so distraught off of that.
Superstar
man.
would have been great.
Superstar, Love Song.
Yeah.
Damn, what is that other one called?
Especially if you had anybody in there that could actually dance.
Yeah. I think he tried to play Sunday Morning at one point.
Okay.
I can't remember now. But it was just, I was just so disappointed. But you just saying that reminded me of that.
That's funny.
So we got distraction aside.
Yeah.
Rest in peace to all those individuals.
Yeah.
That is a wild week. Mm-hmm. All in the course of 1 week.
Yeah. That's crazy.
So
cool.
With that out the way.
Well, with that being said, Brent, you want to start us off?
I wasn't trying to advertise, so that's why I had to rip off the lid.
You're fine. You want to start us off, brother? Or are you busy toiling away at your project?
Well,
he's tolling.
That answers that.
Yeah, exactly.
My bad. Say again.
That answered that.
No, I was just saying, how was your week, brother? You want to go ahead and tell us how your week was? That way you can get back to your construction work.
So the week was actually, can y'all hear me clear?
Yeah, absolutely. Mm-hmm.
The week was good, man. I've actually just been on some R&R.
Nice.
And got a little under the weather starting this week.
Oh, that
I got caught outside without my hat on.
Okay, I can understand that.
I basically sound like I'm like 60 years old. Like I instantly got sick.
Got you.
You know. So I've been dealing with that, but man, for the most part, everything's been good, man. Just been napping. I beat Far Cry 5.
Yeah.
I was a guest on the Devin Cox Experience.
Okay.
That podcast. I think he's out of Atlanta.
Okay.
That was pretty dope. He asked me 5 questions to start off.
Jesus.
And one of the questions was, what was the dumbest thing I did as a child or as a kid?
It's like everything.
The stories just started from there.
That's a good way. That's a good jumping off point.
So that's been pretty much my week, man. Everything's good.
Very nice.
Thunder over Louisville was this weekend. The air show was dope.
Nice.
I realize I'm a little kid every time I see planes flying and doing acrobats in the air.
Yeah. Especially through your city.
Yeah, and so that was pretty epic. Like each time I'm like, wow, planes fly. Like my brain. I mean, don't think that I don't understand how planes fly.
Yeah.
But like it's still a wonder to me every time. Hold up.
You expect that?
And,
you expect
yeah.
that?
So that's been my week.
Yeah, that's great. You expect that classic panning shot where the jets like fly by, and then the camera follows with them, and then there's like a kaiju like tearing up the bridge. They're like shooting at it. But yeah, that's good, man. Good to hear it. But yeah, I guess I'll say just my week has been pretty run of the mill, except for all the like random stuff, all the consuming of media, I guess you could say. Completely watched everything of Atlanta. Got caught up on that.
So just to clarify, the season ain't over with already, is it?
No.
Okay, because I was about to say,
we got like a few. We got like probably 4 or 5.
Because I didn't see. It was like, was there a new episode this past Thursday?
It was. Yeah.
We'll see. Okay, see,
because they put up a clip of it.
Whatchamacallit was acting funny.
Yeah, they put up a clip of it. Some funny clip from Paperboy. But yeah, so one, I can't wait to hopefully go back and do what we talked about doing, like going and watching these. But that all I can say is, without spoiling anything, that Tony Perkins episode was ridiculous.
Yeah, that's wild. Yeah,
and the thing that I love that it tells me about about just the show in general, and just the showrunners in general, including obviously Donald Glover, is one, Donald Glover is an insane actor.
Yes.
2, they can do whatever the hell they want with this show. They can make any genre of episode they want to now. Like with that shows me that whatever idea that they come up with, they can fucking do whatever they want to.
Yeah, honestly, if the Teddy Perkins episode don't win an Emmy,
God, it has to. Like, it was so good, and there's so like insane amount of levels of like symbolism in that episode. But yeah, overall excellent. I mean, the barbershop episode, I was like in tears, like wanted to kill that fucking guy.
That episode just pissed me off more than made me laugh.
That was exactly it did its part. It definitely did its part.
Yeah, it was supposed to do one or the other apparently.
Yeah. So and that last shot of like 3 or 4. Oh, like it's perfect. Like that's exactly the way that needed to work out. But yeah, I love that show so much. It's absurd. And it was interesting to kind of go into, because I started looking at other stuff, and then me and a buddy of mine at work were looking at the different like details, because the whole thing was like robbing season. So you've had robbing things, but it hasn't been like just stealing valuables. You've had like an actual robbery, like on the first episode, if you've seen it, and then you've got like Val and Ern robbing each other of like a future together. You have those kind of like little things, robbing somebody of time with the barbershop thing. You have like those kind of elements of robbing, not just like robbing valuables, even though it's still time is still valuable, or their future is still valuable.
And
but
you don't want to, as far as robbing with Teddy Perkins, you can't reveal that without spoiling it.
Right, exactly, yeah. And it's so funny, like, because Val and Ern are like so perfect when they're on screen together, because they have a lot. Those two characters have a lot of similarities, but they have similarities in a way that when they clash, it's like catastrophic. Yeah, and it's really good the way they do that. I love the way they do that, and I like that whole episode was really the whole German thing. It was a cool little thing, like cool detail thing. But yeah, loving that show so much. Continuing to watch.
I just remembered the blackface bit.
Oh yeah, yeah, that. And then my other favorite part of that the German episode specifically is that big stupid wolf mascot thing. Oh, when he was like, "What the fuck is that?" Like when it walked past and it was laughing. He was just like, "What? What the hell? What is that?" And then when he was at the bar and it was just like laughing in his face, he was just like trying not to punch it. But yeah, so.
And the ending almost got a little scary for a second.
It did, yeah. It was crazy, yeah.
I think that, and then lo and behold, the next episode was Teddy Perkins.
Exactly. So yeah, it kind of emotionally leads you into.
And then we go back to Val after that episode for Champagne Poppy.
Yeah, which is
and there was also a little bit of tension there. It was like, oh, hold on a second.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
it's interesting how like they went and like did a little
their arcs,
yeah, like a roller coaster a bit.
Yeah, which is interesting because you don't get to see the episodes back to back unless you wait and then binge them kind of back to back, like what I did this week, pretty much. So it's really interesting to have that gap, and I I wish every episode was like an hour, just being stingy, but the 30 minutes is used so perfectly. And then in the case of like Teddy Perkins, where they just say, don't fucking show a commercial.
Yeah.
Like, we don't need you. Like, we can't break up this emotion and what we're setting up. And they probably use that 30 minutes better than any fucking show, like, in a long time.
That would have had an hour.
Yeah, exactly. Right, yeah, because there's plenty of shows on Netflix and on TV in general that have an hour every episode, and you're like, nothing fucking happened. Yeah. You're like, nothing. You did nothing with that time. But loving that. Still watching On My Block. It's one of the funniest and best written like comedies I've seen in a while, and it's so well done. The actors are great. They're all I think they're all probably like, they probably are all like 16, 15, like, no, they're probably all like 16, maybe 17. But it's a really, really well done show, and it's really, really funny. And that's a Netflix exclusive. It's really good. So I've been continuing to watch that. But the big thing that happened this week that have been pretty much taking up my time pretty much the entire weekend has been God of War. Who daddy?
All right. Well, now that you already mentioned it, that is why I'm late today.
Oh, really? Yes, that's great.
Yeah, I was sitting there going like, yeah. I woke up, or I was sitting there playing it.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I'll tell you later. I'll tell you later. Okay. Go ahead and finish your bit. I'm sorry.
It is what they've done with that character and storyline, as far as like taking because like I think most of us like experience, like, you either experience the first like few God of Wars in either two ways. Either you enjoyed them for what they were like the dumb fun that they were, especially back in PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3 days. A lot of stuff was going on.
All right, fuck it. We'll just talk about it.
Yeah, might as well screw it. You'll enjoy them for what they were and kind of just go through those and like have fun with with kind of what they were as just like kind of like dumb fun action games.
Yeah.
And or a lot of people like just couldn't get into them because they hated Kratos. It's just kind of like the angry,
he was just a shitty protagonist.
Yeah, exactly.
Outright, just through and through.
Yeah, he really was.
Like when we first started playing, it was like, yo, that's crazy. Yeah. Sitting there going like that, and then like after, and like the first game, you kind of felt bad for him a little bit. It was like, oh, that's fucked up. Y'all tricked him, blah blah blah. But then like the second game came around, it's like. I think this is just you, bro. It's like,
exactly.
I was like, he gave zero the first game. The second game, I was like, yo, he just wants to murder people. Like this ain't got nothing to do with his past. He was gonna murder you.
Yeah, it's like it looked like he had an excuse in the first game.
Right.
It was like, yeah, he was sitting there just like fierce warrior. And then like, oh wait, he did kind of bitch out a little bit right when he was at death's door.
Yeah, exactly.
Asking Ares to sit there and like take his soul so he can sit there and be stronger. And I was like, yeah, okay. And now looking back at it, and then it was like, oh, he accidentally killed his family. Oh, but Ares tricked him though. It's like, but he had a murder boner already.
Yeah, exactly.
And then the second game where he's the god of war,
yeah,
and he's pretty much being the dick, just squashing people just like without recourse, instead of just pissing off the other gods. And I was like, okay, you kind of had that coming as far as getting demoted.
Yeah, right, yeah.
And then the third one is sitting there going like, where he pretty much caused like Armageddon.
Yeah, exactly.
I was like, no, why am I rooting for this person? Yeah, I want to finish the game.
Yeah, because
asshole. I'm not,
Like he was literally like, if you had to open a door, there was multiple times you'd be like, you'd take like a regular person, tell them to hold the door, and then when you went through it, the pressure would be so great it would just snap him in half. And you're like, that was just a regular lady.
Yeah.
She didn't want to do that, but she threatened her.
Oh, yeah.
Like, there was so many times.
There was also another bit where you could have just as easily saved somebody.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And you just stood there and just let it happen.
Dude, he was such a dick.
and another thing I'm just now realizing from the first game is that there were civilians running away from like monsters or something like that I think it was like the first ever Cyclops fight you have.
Okay.
And if you stab the civilians, you get an extra little health boost in case you got damaged too much. And so I'm sitting there going like, oh, I don't know anymore. It's like looking back at how fun that first game was, and then just go like, you know what?
I can't get behind this guy. But now, with that being said, what they've done with his character in this game is phenomenal.
Yeah, they made him more jaded, obviously.
Exactly.
They made him a little more. He's calm now.
Yes.
As it comes with age.
Yeah.
Go from there.
Yeah.
And as far as now having a son, that's not spoiled because that's in the trailer and shit. Yeah. As far
it's
as
on the box. Like you pick it up, it's on the box.
Okay. As far as having a son and now trying to kind of go like him learning this restraint as far as like trying to teach. Because there was one point like in the beginning where he was about to sit there just go off on him for doing something, and then he was like,
then he stopped. Yeah.
And then repeated what he was doing. I was like, wow.
Yeah, that was great.
He would have cut his head off had it been the first two games.
Yeah, exactly. He'd be dead.
It's like,
Atreus is dead in the first 5 minutes.
And so as far as him sitting there just learning restraint and just kind of learning, it's like almost like the second hour of playing this game made me think, this is basically old man Kratos instead of old man Logan. This is like the old man Logan of God of War.
Absolutely. And they you could definitely tell that had to be an influence. Yes. That they've read that material before.
And also being PlayStation exclusive. Yeah. It reminded me of another PlayStation exclusive, The Last of Us.
Yeah, definitely.
There's some parallels right there and going from there.
But I know now. But going kind of from that now, going into kind of like I guess you could say the gameplay side of things and the presentation, it's fucking gorgeous. It looks insane.
Very.
And it's one of the few times in a while that you can go back and look at the E3 trailer and then look at the final product and see a substantial improvement just in polish from when they announced it to now. Now, obviously, it's been a little while. They've been working on this game for like 5 years. But that was just a very interesting thing to like see them, like the work that they put in and see that work across the board. That fucking axe is one of my favorite weapons since like the gravity gun in like Portal and in Half-Life. Okay. Yeah. It just feel like the way like every little detail, like simple stuff, like when you call it back, the controller, the way it vibrates, like the way it actually, if you throw, there's been multiple times, which I think is funny and I love it every time. I'll get in a fight, do something, or like have to throw it to like solve a puzzle, and I'll forget it, and I'll run through the next room, and I'll be like, I'll look at his back, I'll be like, oh shit, and I'll be like, and you'll literally feel it ripping through the walls, and all of a sudden he's just like,
and you don't have to go run, you don't have to run back for it and see it. It's not like one of the things like you have to look at it first in order to retract it either.
It's just like, give me it, and it's funny because when you do see it or you know where you threw it, it comes back from that same direction. It makes sense where it comes from, and it feels really good to use. And
if you're fighting, if you plan it perfectly, you'll throw it at an enemy, you'll fight around and kind of move around the battlefield, and then you're facing another enemy, and you sit there, retract it, it can sit there and hit the person on the way back.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Because if you get that perfect throw, you freeze them, and then you go in for the punt. And that's the thing that's interesting too is the axe is not the end all be all. When he goes into hand-to-hand combat, he's fucking nasty too.
Yeah.
Which is great. It's really good. And it took me a minute. I'll tell you, it's a funny thing. I didn't just, and it kind of made me mad at first because it was the one thing I was kind of having a problem with because I wanted to like throw the axe, run at somebody, and fucking punch the shit out of them.
Yeah.
That was the rhythm I could see in my head. But I didn't realize for some reason, because it's literally every game nowadays, that when you click in the L3, it sprints. Yeah. It took me until like 3 hours in to the first time I was like, oh, he can sprint.
Yeah.
I was just like jogging towards people.
It's a lot to adjust to. It's complex. Because of the previous God of War games.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I guess you could call it, what was it, like a button smasher?
Yeah, it was a button masher, but the big thing about it too was the quick time events.
Yes.
When you did anything complex, it was in a quick time event.
And the bread and butter combo was square, square, triangle.
Yep.
Or triangle, triangle, triangle.
Yep.
And not having that bread and butter combo was throwing me off, especially since those aren't the combat buttons anymore.
No, you can switch them.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean,
but now we're on R1, R2, which is really cool because then when you start to upgrade and get even more combat, like basically tools, like that axe thing where he jumps and slams it, or when he like throws you can throw the axe and like hold down the button instead of letting it go, and it'll like spin inside of the person for a second. So
I just upgraded to that.
It gets very layered in a very like complex way. That's awesome because the more you unlock and kind of like switch out different like special moves, it gets even more complex. Now, with that being said, the way the story is told, the way you're working...
I'm sorry. Another bit with the gameplay is that you don't have... As far as... I love that it's so whittled down as far as weapons go. You don't have to worry about switching to 4 separate... what was it, kind of chains or kind of swords? It was like, sword
because he's got chains and stuff. Which I really like. He's got the bandages on where they like were attached to his arm.
Yeah, and it took me a minute to realize it was like where he was sitting there just putting the bandages back on. And I was kind of going like, wait, something's off. Oh, right, because that shit was seared into him, and that's
it was burned into his arms. The way it works with, because a lot of times one of the biggest banes usually with video games, as far as mission structure, is you going through a game, you're headlong into a game, you're enjoying it, and then usually when there's a game with multiple different missions or side quests, they throw you an escort mission, and you're like, God damn, this person's gonna fucking die every 5 seconds. That's one of the best partners that I'm in video gaming. Because one, he's useful.
Since Ellie.
Yeah, right. But Ellie always pissed me off because she never learned how to swim. That was the annoying thing about her. But it was kind of a joke thing.
Yeah, and she had a bit of a health bar.
Yeah, right.
Compared to Atreus.
Yeah. Now, the way he can help with his bow, and it's commanded by you. So you always I always get into a rhythm like where I'll be like fighting one, I'll get that notification that somebody's behind me, and I'll hit square, and most of the time he'll pop them. Or he'll pop one in front of me, and then I'll quick turn around and fight the others.
I'll need to try that.
I use
that
him
quick turn is so...
Yeah, it's great.
It's tough for me to adjust to.
Right, yeah. I usually basically what I do, and the thing is now I've got him upgraded to now if he sees an opening, he starts fucking like, instead of just shooting the bow, like he'll shoot the bow, then he'll jump on their shoulders and...
If he sees an opening, he'll start fucking.
That's right. That's great.
Yeah, that's pretty much all I heard too. I was like, wait,
that's
what?
good. That works.
That's what you're teaching your young Kratos.
It's God of War, man. You know what God of War was. No, but now like he'll like
it's from Greece, baby.
Right? Yeah, it's Greece, man. When in Rome, baby. So now, like what he does is if he sees like somebody either distracted or their back is to him, he'll like jump on their shoulders and like stab them. Like,
and you can combo into that too.
Exactly, because then you can have another perk stacked on that where if he's got a hold of them, their damage is doubled. So like if you see him, you can like lift them and then you can go fucking hog wild. With that being said, without any more, I don't want to get into any spoilers. I'm not even that. I mean, I'm probably, I guess 5-6 hours in.
Yeah.
Like I said, presentation's great. The use of Norse mythology is a great departure from the Roman thing because we've had that for multiple games.
Like I know my Greek myths.
Yeah.
And so I was kind of going like, well, that ain't accurate.
Right.
But it works as far as the story goes. But with this, I'm just completely in the dark. It was
the only surface level stuff I know from Norse mythology is from the Marvel.
Yeah, Odin, Thor.
Yep, Loki.
World Serpent, I knew.
Yep, I knew that too, which I like that way they did that.
Yeah. And so, other than that, other than those, and like, there's 9 realms, world tree, whatever. Yeah. Other than that shit, I'm completely in the dark. Yeah, me neither. So in this instance, like, I don't have like a source to kind of go off of. It's like, well, is this accurate? Well, who fucking cares?
Yeah, and and the thing is, it's interesting is because like, I don't think it's ever been said, but you pretty much can assume that Kratos is illiterate, not only just in Norse mythology, but he can't read, period. So it's really cool.
I was hoping it's only because he couldn't read Norse or runes.
I really don't think he can.
Boy,
I think there's proof.
What's it say?
Exactly.
Just hearing him say that just reminded me too. Like, no, I can't get into too much detail about that, about some family related. But
right,
he's like, boy, what does this say?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh no.
But I love the fact that he's like teaching it and he's still kind of grumpy, passive about it. Like he's like, it sounds like even when the whole world serpent thing, he was trying to explain, like, Arceus was trying to explain the world serpent, like them seeing it to somebody else, and he was like, debatable. It was like, no, that fucking happened, Kratos.
Oh yeah, he was like, yeah, he's big enough. He's big enough to circle the whole world. It's like, I doubt that.
Yeah, it's like, at least right there. Like, meanwhile, he's in the background. The world serpent's in the background, just looking, and you're like, that fucking thing's huge. Like, you fucking kidding me? Now, with that being said, last thing I'll say about God of War without spoiling anything else, that opening one-on-one fight,
the first boss fight,
is one of the greatest video game fights from a control and style standpoint I think I've ever seen. If anybody is working on any kind of superhero games, they need to take fucking notes. Yeah, because that was incredible.
And you also notice the lack of QuickTime events compared to the previous games.
Yeah.
Where it was like, even if you were prompted to do something, it was only as a tutorial. It wasn't in the sense of, hey, do this in order so we can get this sequence of events so we can play this movie out for you. Exactly. It's like, no, this is on you.
Yeah. If you fuck up, it's just going to play into it's going to play into the camera. And the whole thing from a cinematic standpoint, especially for me, the whole one camera shot thing, the way they're doing it is, I mean, it's amazing. Because one, they can hide the loads, which they really don't need to load too much because the worlds are big, but we're not loading like Grand Theft Auto 5 size levels.
Speaking of, I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah.
Because that was going to be my point too. I thought the superhero point was...
It was going to go in it. It was going to partially connect to that because the way it's shot is beautiful.
That was the point I wanted to make too, is that also the big difference as far as God of War 1 and 2, kind of with 3, they kind of transitioned out of this a little bit. Mm-hmm. But with the first two, there was a lack of loading.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like with most games, okay, you're at level 1. Okay, you're at level 2.
Right.
Everything just kind of seemed. It was almost it was almost seamless. Every now and then you'll get a loading screen, but it was just to kind of adjust.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like, okay, this is clearly level 1. This is clearly level 2.
Yeah.
Everything just kind of was fluid, and you were kind of going from one world or one land to another.
Yeah.
But it felt like a set.
Yeah. Right.
It kind of felt like a movie set as far as like each area you went to. It was seamless.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it just kind of felt confined in like, this is where you are until you finish killing as many people as you need to so you can move on to the next level, or you retrieve this item.
Yeah.
Now, with the third game, this ain't helping my case. It kind of transitioned out of that. Mm-hmm. With this game, it felt more like, rather than one big movie set, it felt like one big movie world.
Exactly.
And like this actually seemed like you were in a location until you moved into the next location. As far as going to this land or that land, it actually felt like that you were actually traveling.
It's shot in a way that it feels like a Steadicam operator is always behind Kratos and Atreus, and that literally they're just like it's like they have a headset on, and the director of the game is like, all right, pan around Kratos real quick. All right, pan around Atreus. So Kratos can walk over there. All right, now go back to Kratos. Like, it never cuts in a way that works perfectly. Like, it works so well. But, dude, that first fight, I was like, just like mouth on the floor the entire time of that first combat sequence. Because it wasn't what I expected. Because, I mean, dude knocks at your door and you're like, he's like, I don't know what the fuck is this? He opens the door. I'm like, who's this little shit talking shit? I was like, really, dude? You're gonna talk shit to me like that?
Oh, Far Cry 5 looking ass motherfucker.
Yeah. I was like, dude, I've got you by like a foot and a half. And then he just starts beating his ass, and I was like, oh shit, he's not normal.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, it just from there, then it's like, okay.
But the way he tricked you though. The way he set you up.
Oh, yeah, that was great.
The way he set you up to think like, okay, get the fuck off my land.
Yeah,
like,
exactly, yeah.
Like, get the fuck off my porch.
Yeah, it's like, dude, get out of here, man.
And then I was like, oh.
Yeah, then he goes nuts. I was like, oh, my God. It's amazing. I mean, it was so well
Sorry
done.
to spoil that surprise for you.
I mean, it doesn't really that much, but...
it is first level, so...
Yeah, I mean, it's first like, we're talking like first hour. First, probably 45 minutes.
Depending on how much you run around looking for shit.
Yeah, which that's another good point about this game is that there is some linearity to it, but at the same time, when it opens up, though, it opens the fuck up. And I love the way Atreus is like, hey, we need to go do this, or if you want to, you can just fuck off. Yeah. And then you're just like, all right, I'm going to go look for this shit.
But he's doing it in that little kid way. He's like, damn it, kid. I'm like, damn it, Dad.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
It's like, I can't say nothing.
Right.
But I'll say it under my breath.
Have you met, before I go, because this game, I could talk about this game in a fucking whole episode. It's ridiculous. Have you met, I think his name's Sinclair, yet the other elf?
Sidrus or Syndrus.
Yeah,
Sidrus or some Sidrus. Yeah, there's Brock and Syndrus. Right, I think that's how it's pronounced.
Was that time when you met him not the funniest shit? When he tried to give him the axe and he was like, can you set it on the table for me? I don't want to touch it. And he was like, no. And he was like, and he just like grabbed it.
And he tried to go, yeah.
He was like,
that was cute.
Like the side characters are really well done.
There's way more humor in this.
Oh yeah.
Well, there was humor in the previous games, but it was morbid as fuck.
Yeah, right, exactly. And I think a lot of
fisherman.
Oh yeah,
that captain.
Yeah.
I heard his voice again. I think it's Brock that's playing that voice.
Oh, the same dude.
The same voice actor.
Nice. Okay,
but that'd have been crazy if that fisherman somehow, some way ended up in this game again.
Funny. Yeah,
like granted, it may be completely later in the game.
That's true.
But that would be fucking hilarious.
Yeah, it does a really good job because you know you're not going to get anything in the way of like funny or really emotional out of Kratos. So having all these kind of characters that are very dynamic and very unique around him and having him be just basically annoyed. I mean, he's pretty much like Paperboy in that barbershop episode.
He's pretty much Paperboy, period.
Yeah, he is. Yeah. So it's
Kratos is Paperboy.
Yeah, that works.
That was that may be the new title.
That works for me.
I was gonna do boy read this for me or boy listen to this podcast for me.
That's good. Just from what I so far, the game is excellent. If you have thumbs, get it. Period. Like it's really fucking good. It's been getting 10s from pretty much everybody. I can see why, even this early on. I know there's a lot left, but I know there's hopefully a lot that who knows. I have no like inkling of where the fuck this story is gonna go. Just from even where I'm at, I'm like, whoa, it's like up in the air to me. But it's so well done. I absolutely love it. But yeah, if you guys have a chance, if you have a PS4 especially, check out this game.
Speaking of
100%,
if you have a PS4, that's the only way you're going to play this game.
Yeah.
You showed that picture from IGN where they did a graphics comparison between PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. Between God of War. So God of War obviously showed the picture on the PlayStation 4.
Yep.
On Xbox One, it was completely blank. Tell me why one of the editors had to issue an apology.
Are you serious?
Over the complaints about that.
Oh my God, you guys suck.
I need to double check that. I'm saying because I may double check that just to make sure it wasn't one of those like look at these fucking SJWs type blah 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 type one of them things like fake outrage over.
Now the thing that's weird about that, outrage. I'm pretty sure I saw either GameSpot or IGN again did another one that was like God of War running on all consoles, and it just had PS4 in the top corner, and it was like Switch, Xbox One, and everything, and it was just black. It's just so Kratos running the top. I hope that's so stupid. God, I swear. Yeah, with that being said, it's fucking excellent. I guess that was part of your week too, if there's anything else in your week.
Did you have anything else to add before
No, I think it's that was my main things I did was watching those shows, and everything else was pretty much straightforward and playing God of War.
Okay, then. Yeah. Well, yesterday I went out and about.
Sweet.
Keeneland.
Yeah.
I was not a part of that riot that took place yesterday.
That was a riot?
Yeah, for some reason.
What the fuck? I didn't hear about this.
Well, this was in an area, like we were over in the hill, pretty much doing just tailgating shit. We weren't even trying to see horses race.
Yeah.
We just wanted to get drunk and sit there and toss football around.
Absolutely.
Play around with my godson, whatever.
Yeah.
So there was probably 1,000 people in the hill as far as tailgating usually goes. We saw some policemen on bikes going up the hill, and I was like, that looks like a bitch to do.
Yeah, I was going to say, that seemed, God, if you're from Kentucky and you know what the hill is at Keeneland, then you know that's seems pretty difficult. You got to be shape to do that.
Yeah, and that's pretty much what he was saying. Or one of the officers was waving at Trey. Well, Trey was waving at them.
Yeah.
And then like it was like, hey, how you doing? And then like he's just interacting with them and talking to like small talk with us.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, I got a kid too, and like, yeah, he's keeping me in shape. And I was like, well, I'm sure that bike is too. Yeah. And it was like, yeah, blah 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 blah. He's like, hey, y'all have a good one. All right, catch y'all later. Blah blah blah. And then his dad started going like, I need to keep him around me at all times for police.
That's funny.
He's like, hey, don't shoot. He's friendly. He's waving at you. Look at him. And
I could see
that's more of it was more of a joke, but it was like,
yeah, that's.
I wish I had him when I got stopped and frisked.
Right. Yeah.
4 times.
Jesus. That's excellent.
More on that later.
Right.
Well, no, not later in this episode,
right,
but down the line if anybody cares,
right.
or if it comes up in the topic. Anyway, we think it had something to do with those same police officers.
Okay.
Where it was like, according to Herald Leader, there was like some underage drinking involved. They went to intervene and try to arrest.
Okay.
And apparently, within a group of 200 people, that just wasn't going to happen.
Oh, Jesus. Okay.
So we saw some police cars come up. We didn't know what the fuck was going on. First, we saw the bikes. Yeah. The 4 people with bikes. Then we saw like 2 police cars go up. And then like maybe...
Sorry about that.
You dial them?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Is that loud?
Yeah, it's loud.
Finally.
Okay, so there he is. All right, so first the cops on bikes went up. Maybe 30 minutes later, we see 2 police cars.
Right.
15, 30 minutes later, we see a paddy wagon going up in the same direction. Everybody's like, what the fuck is going on? And so now we know.
Right.
No one was hurt. No one was injured, according to the news.
That's good.
But it was still wild in and of itself for that to happen.
Yeah, absolutely. That's kind of weird.
But other than that, I got drunk. Went to the distillery district. That was just completely blank. I didn't realize.
Oh, you haven't been over there?
No.
Oh, yeah, that's crazy.
A lot has changed over in that. Like we ain't been.
Yes.
We ain't been to downtown in a minute.
Yeah.
And there's just so much going on. Especially the big hole in the ground is now being filled up.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've constructed and everything. Got big ass cranes and all that stuff.
You can see the skyscraper like when you're going up over right here outside of the house.
That's crazy.
You can see like when you crest over that hill, you can see the building. Like I didn't realize it was gonna be that big, but yeah, it's crazy.
I should have known as much.
Yeah,
big as that hole should have been. They might as well sit there and just overcompensate.
All right.
She said.
Hey.
God of War we already talked about.
Fucking great.
Oh, I realized I don't know shit about baseball.
Okay, that works. That works.
Because let me try to pull up. There was a conversation I overheard. It was kind of next to me before I went to my desk, or before I went to my cubicle. And the guy was sitting there talking to another dude about like one of them was a Red Sox fan. I think another one was a Cubs fan or something like that.
Okay.
And I realized I was out of my depth as soon as I heard one of them sit there and say, "He's a ground ball pitcher in a home run park." Fucking what?
I see what he's saying, but that's fucking funny to hear that out of context.
Like that's some shit that I'm going to sit there just throw out there in case I'm out of my depth from here on out. I'm just going to start using that phrase, if it's not even true.
Absolutely. Like, what do you think of the fucking Phillies this year?
Oh yeah, they got a ground ball pitcher, and you gotta watch out for those home run parks. It's like
they're like, yeah, fucking yeah. You're like,
oh my goodness,
that's amazing. That's really good. That's it's so funny.
That was beautiful. That was a beautiful moment right there.
So I got a nice little nugget from there. So I may eavesdrop some more.
Keep that in your arsenal. Yeah. Keep that in your arsenal.
Did you get them to further explain, or did you just let them be?
I just left it be because they might as well have been talking Latin to me.
Oh man.
Yeah, I love that. Just keep that in the notebook and then jot down any further.
Just eavesdrop on any more from there. Right. Or like Atreus.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, wait till you get a little thing you can decipher some of these glyphs.
Yeah, right. Yeah, come read this for me.
Oh, man. I rewatched Dead Presidents Friday night.
Nice.
And there was so much I missed. Like, when I first watched it, because the shit came out like 93, 95.
Yeah, it was a while ago. Right?
And so like rewatching and it was kind of like, oh, okay, I see what's going on here. I meant to research it to see if like any of it was based on a true story. Otherwise, I'm pretty sure they would have mentioned it in the beginning or something like that.
Right.
Hughes Brothers. It's kind of funny. It's like how you don't really hear much from them anymore.
No.
But it just kind of come across like that. It's like, yeah, this is a typical black movie. Well, not really. Not really. It was like a black period piece.
Yeah, right, exactly.
And go from there.
Yeah.
It's funny how iconic the makeup that they wore for the robbery is.
Oh yeah.
I remember when I was younger, I was like maybe 6 or 7 in Virginia for Halloween. That's exactly what I looked at or dressed up as for Halloween.
That's funny.
And then it was funny just seeing I want to be honest. White people didn't recognize what the fuck I was doing, but there was this black cashier when we were at Target, and it was like, "Oh, you dressed up like for dead presidents." I was like, "Yeah." It's like, "Yeah, you're finally somebody."
Right, yeah. All these other people are confused.
Yo, well,
yeah.
Are you born and raised in? Or are you raised in Virginia?
No. My brother is. He was born in Richmond. We went there for like a year and a half or 2 years.
Okay.
Yeah. I was born in Paducah. Been there until 5.
P-town?
And then we went to Virginia. I don't remember. I don't know the full reason why.
That's okay.
Didn't work out, and I fucking hated it there. God, everybody just didn't like me. I was like, if I had stayed there to high school, I probably would have ended up like a black male Carrie or some shit. I hated it there. Yeah. But luckily we went to Lexington when I was like 7. Been here ever since. So
yeah, nice.
Went to my first ever campaign party.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't want to come across like I'm advertising or supporting it, especially with the problematic shit that we say on this on this podcast.
That makes sense.
So I'll leave it blank. Anybody that's been around me or kept up with anything anything on my timeline will probably know where I was. But we'll go from there. That was interesting. It's not like how it is on TV or movies and shit, where it's kind of going like, hey, sweeping music and patriotism, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, right. One Punch the Baby?
Okay, that movie. I ain't seen that movie.
Yeah,
I know the movie you're talking about only because of the trailer.
Yeah, it's called the campaign.
Yeah. I think that's probably around the time I started getting tired of Will Ferrell movies.
That's fair.
Yeah.
So that was dope.
Would you go again? That's the question. Would you go again?
To a campaign party?
Yeah.
I would. I just need to work. I need to work better under small talk.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And that's.
I was way out of my depth. Not as bad as the baseball.
That is politics. Yeah. Okay.
It wasn't as bad as the baseball talk.
I just got an image of you at the campaign party, like. I don't know, but he would be the political equivalent of
Groundball pitcher.
Homerun Park.
There's no way that
Homerun Park.
Why do they fucking keep saying the same thing?
Groundball podcast and a Homerun Park.
And the crazy part is he'll be like a hit and he won't even know. He'll be like, I still don't know what it means.
Right? I don't know. I need somebody to explain it.
What does that even mean?
I'm screaming for help. I'm screaming for help and everybody's just laughing at me. Yeah, I'm screaming for help and everybody's just clapping.
Yeah, and also, I've kind of noticed too, is obviously if you're going to go somewhere where politics is involved, you are going to see there's going to be the on the fence people that you normally interact with anyway. They just say, politics, whatever.
Right. Exactly.
Obviously, if you're going to a campaign party, you're going to see people that are leaning more towards one side over the other.
Absolutely.
And that was interesting.
Yeah.
To see that, to say the least, and it was kind of going along the lines of. I see where there are level-headed people, and I see where some people kind of put their side or like kind of give their side a bad name.
Okay, yeah, because they're like
all the way because they're all the way on that spectrum of whatever side of the political party is.
Yeah,
and it was just kind of going like I'm almost interested to see both versions.
Yeah.
Oh, and the independent side.
Right.
Like to see all three.
Yeah.
Independent campaign party. It's just like the neutral people from Futurama.
Yeah, they're just wearing like beige. They look like they're all dressed in a Kanye.
So how do you feel about this event?
Show?
It's happening.
Right, exactly.
I'm in this event.
Right. Yeah, I am here. That's one of the reasons I've always found politics.
I'm just shaking my head sourly.
That's why I've always found politics like extremely interesting, just because you see, especially like after our past like presidential race, like seeing just how people basically think in those situations, outside those situations when they're representing a party or whatever. It's
I'm gonna stop eating food on the podcast. I promise.
Yeah, I've been eating cookies this whole time.
That's nice. That works.
Do what you do, man.
Yeah, absolutely. That's
when they
cool.
go back,
yeah, that's interesting in and of itself. It's like
good.
So one of my things I'm trying to do, I guess in the next couple months, is actually there's been some like I went to a few meetup, private parties, things like that, but they was more like meetups. They weren't parties. When people were like strategizing and trying to like, you know, get the grassroots version of whatever they're trying to do going, and you know, saying like, basically in a nutshell, they were like, all right, you roll with us. There's gonna be some good days, and there's gonna be some bad days. But if we stick together, I was like, ooh, this sounds sketchy once you say it that way. It sounds like we about to start getting hosed and dogs sit on us and stuff like that. But no, like it's really interesting to see the different people from the different backgrounds. This is my experience. The different people from the different backgrounds. They had like an open forum, so different people wanted to get off, like they had their own agendas. So it was kind of interesting to see like everyone in the room and what their actual agenda was. Was it like, hey, we're trying to move this political ideal, party, whatever, forward and put it in motion or strengthen it in some way? Or was it like, okay, I see that we have all these supposedly like-minded individuals in this area. Let me talk about this other thing, you know. I wasn't like, you know, one of them seemed kind of like the new Black Panthers was there. And, you know, like they were trying to kind of like, not recruit, but it was just like one of those, it was an interesting situation. Like nothing bad, nothing out of line. It was just like some people had different agendas. And they just wanted, you know, give me 3 to 5 minutes. Let me speak. You know, so that's interesting. As a couple I've been invited to that came up in the next month or so. I'm gonna check those out just because I like hearing. The reason why I've been trying to like kind of slowly check these out. I mean, down the road I got some future plans, but right now I want to see how the different generations are moving. Right. I think our generation probably has the most power in these situations just because of the times are changing and a lot of the old is getting out and getting killed off, or not killed off, but dying out. I don't want to say getting killed off.
In this
like,
week's
Walking
Walking
Dead.
Dead.
Sound like you know more than you've been letting on as far as these politics go.
Hey man, I do like politics, but we don't talk politics like that for real.
This week,
I kind of sit back. Politics to me is like chess.
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
What's the Assassin's Creed again? Everything is permitted. Nothing is true. Nothing is true. Everything is permitted. Yeah, that's so. What it sounds. So I mean, I'm sorry, Brent. I didn't mean to out you like that, but
assassin,
sir,
assassino.
We're not gonna do this.
All
I
right.
will say, in the words of Game of Thrones, what is it? I forgot it. Every man must die.
In the word of Game of Thrones, he won't be here next week.
Right.
This character won't be here next week.
Oh wow.
Retired Brent.
That's was that Joss Whedon's creed also?
Yeah.
Oh, you like this person? Fuck him.
Right. Yeah. I'm killing him right now. I just wrote him out right now.
Just because you said so.
Cool.
But no, so there's like I've been trying to see what because I've getting into the arguments where it's like, where are the leaders at? Like, where's our generation's leaders? Where's the generation above us leaders? Like, where are those leaders in the communities? Things like that.
Absolutely.
And I've had, you know, different arguments, and I've taken the different sides at different points, depending on, you know, how I was feeling or what I was seeing in my perspective. And so I'm slowly, you know, entering into these things, infiltrating these things. No, I don't want to say infiltrating. So I'm not sneaking. I'm not solid snake.
Assassino.
Assassino. Well, you know, I'll let your favorite assassin, the Assassino.
Yeah, that's funny.
LL. L.
Liquid
they
soul.
called him L.
Yeah. Liquid. Yeah.
But
that's funny.
My bad. Yeah, keep going. But yeah, I've been checking them out, and it's kind of curious to hear about your experience. But Yeah, small talk is a must. It's kind of like do the networking events.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you ever get
that's exactly what it seemed like. It was like a networking event, but this wasn't my field.
Right.
Like
yeah.
You remember that networking event we went to in Alabama for hip hop?
Oh yeah, I remember.
And like didn't nobody know what the fuck they were supposed to do?
Yeah, nobody.
Not even the people that had booths.
Yeah, they didn't know what they were. I was confused.
So that was awkward. Yeah, with the exception of the performances, that was like the only thing everybody really knew what the fuck was supposed to happen.
I know I'm supposed to rap, but I got to talk after. Ugh, I don't know about that.
Somebody got me to do networking events like the last 2 years, and it really helped me. It really helped me with small talk, but also reading people in a sense.
Yeah,
because like you could be okay with like talking to a person like face to face. Like we do a podcast, we can talk, right? It's not really like an issue. But when you get dropped, it's almost like getting dropped off on an island, complete strangers, and it's like, become chummy real quick. Find play dates for a few moments.
You need to convince him to tell you
everything,
where all the good coconuts are.
All of them.
Damn.
Right? But you didn't know he even knew he liked coconut. Like you didn't know he liked coconuts at all.
Yeah, exactly.
But so like going to them, like my first one, like I think I kind of like slid off to the side. Like I just had me like a drink and
scoping.
Like I might have like just talked to like one person, and somebody would come up to me like, "Hey, haven't got to talk to you before," and I realized like everybody kept saying that. It was like, "Hey, haven't got to talk to you before."
I just imagine you like scooting away from him.
Yeah, and it was really like it was a lot because the first one I went to was like 70 people.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? It was after hours, 70 people. People are telling me like they directors, runners of this, I own that. You know, I'm making this, and I'm sitting there like, I work in the department over there. Like,
I have a job. I also have a job.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's kind of how it felt. It felt like intimidating.
Right.
Like for me, it felt intimidating.
Right.
Because it was like, what do I say? Right. How do I match levels with this? And I think the secret came out was when I went the next time, it was like, you're not there to match levels. You're there to maybe make a connection. Mm-hmm. You don't have to be in the same field to be able to use somebody else's connection, like to use that connection.
Right.
So the second time I went in, it like, hey, I want to remember 3 people from this thing. Mm-hmm. Right. Whether we swap business cards or whatever, knowing I'm just going to put it in my back pocket and I'm not going to remember it. Like stuff like that. So when I went and did it that way, I was like, I just want to remember 3 people.
Yeah. I
started hearing like I didn't ask people about their job. I asked you like, what do you do? Like, if you told me your job, I was like, so is this your end job or what's the next job?
Right.
Just, you know what I'm saying?
Career or passion.
Yeah, like, and then we talk that. Like, what do you like to do? Like, forget work. We off work. You know what I'm saying? Like, forget work.
That's really good. I like that.
And you start to see people, start coming out of their shells as well. But it also helped me come out of my shell because it was like, if we're doing titles.
Yeah.
Like sooner or later, I'm gonna run into a person who's got a super higher title than me. Right. And it's gonna be like, how do we connect?
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, besides we put on our pants,
that's the
hopefully
purpose.
The same way.
Yeah. Right.
One leg at a time. But apparently, some of these people put their pants on 2 feet at a time.
Like, they just jump in their pants.
Yeah, they just jump in off the bed. Like, I'm not made like that.
That's funny.
So that could help. Well, I don't know, but I would say try networking events if you don't already do them. Like, check those
well, this
out.
wasn't something it's to clarify. I went there. It wasn't like I was trying to get into politics. Like, now, granted, leaving it made me want to be more aware and cognizant about politics.
Absolutely.
But as far as getting there, it was more like invitation because one of Keisha's cousins is helping out with the campaign in general.
Nice.
And so we got invited. It was like, oh, okay, well, yeah, sure, we'll help out. Solidarity, et cetera, et cetera. And then like, and it's kind of like it kind of opened my eyes to
bigger thing.
Or to politics in general.
Absolutely.
But I was talking about the small talk.
Oh, well, yeah, that's something I need work on, period.
That's what I was saying. That's why I was saying that part. Like, do the...
In real life. Like,
real life.
In anything. In anything.
Do that.
That's great. That's great.
To help with the small talk.
Yeah, you know, small talk's like a groundball pitcher for me, and this home run park of social skills.
we named the title that.
That's excellent. That's really good.
Man.
I thought we had the title. That's even better.
I don't know. Yeah. We got a lot of choices this week.
Oh, I missed a few of the Kratos stuff. So
yeah.
Oh yes. Have you messed around with it?
No, I haven't got to play it. But the way you all were talking about it,
yeah, I
might go buy it tonight.
It's really good, bro. I think you'll really enjoy it, honestly.
I mean, unless you all want to give me your old copy when y'all beat it, and then I'll just.
Oh, it's digital. I might have fucked up.
Yeah. You
got digital?
I got it on digital. Yeah.
Well.
What?
I'm not mad at that. No, I'm not mad at that.
That's why I bought that big ass hard drive.
And let me play it from here. Let me just run through
Wait, what?
5 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh well.
We can do that.
In a party, just share it to me.
We can do that.
And I'll just run around for 5 minutes, and I just want to go ballistic.
Yeah, gotta show me that.
Yeah, it's the share feature thing.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Well, I still don't
Which
know.
basically passes.
We'll do that today.
All right then.
You're silly.
Has anybody had a chance to see the finales of either Black Lightning and or Scandal?
No. Were they good?
The Black. Did I say Black Panther?
No, you said Lightning.
Okay, because I keep mixing those up every Tuesday.
Okay.
And when I watch it, it's like, all right, Mario, watch Black Panther. I mean Black Lightning. Shit.
Damn it.
The season finale, honestly, if it for some reason doesn't get renewed, which I will be very pissed off.
Yeah.
If it didn't get renewed,
yeah,
that season finale wrapped everything up neatly and it was great. It was that whole season from beginning to end. With a little bit of a lull here and there, it's just kind of all right, well, can we move this along at any point?
Yeah.
With the exception of that was a really good season. That's probably the best season as far as the CW superheroes, the Arrowverse.
Yeah.
Well, actually, Black Lightning isn't technically really in the Arrowverse so far.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's true.
But as far as those type of shows on the CW, that has so far been the best season of this 2016, no, obviously 2017, 2018 period.
Nice.
Flash is pissing me off. It's this is by far their worst season.
Gone downhill.
Yeah. Arrow, ever since they got booted to Thursday, thanks to Riverdale.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I've been having a lot of trouble keeping up with that.
Okay.
So I gotta do some binging just to see where they are now. But certain events that have been happening that season have been pissing me off. It's why is this even happening? This feels forced.
You're an angry person right now watching the shows.
Not angry.
How was Scandal?
It's critical. It's critical. Scandal series finale, trashest series finale I've ever seen.
Okay.
Literally.
Wow.
That's what it seemed like. It seemed like it was bad.
For real.
Wow.
I will watch just the season finale just to see how trash it was.
I've never seen an episode of that.
To compare that with Lost.
To have granted, their best I don't know about. I've never seen Lost.
Me neither.
Don't ever do it.
Okay then, because that sounds like a waste of investment as far as time goes, based on how pissed people got with that.
Yeah.
No, Sopranos. As much of a letdown that series finale was,
because it just stops. It just stops. I love it so much because it just
this. Oh my god! This was kind of it wasn't. It was trash in the sense that a certain character. Fuck it, y'all don't watch Scandal. A certain character dies.
Okay.
And
Olivia Pope?
He dies. No, he dies in the stupidest way I've ever seen someone do.
Papa Pope?
No.
He said no Pope.
Jake.
No. God, no. David Rosen.
I don't know.
Which one was that?
Moving along.
Just yelled out every.
He's gonna ring off every character, and then I finally sit there and get rid of the guesswork for him. I don't know who that is.
I'm like 2 seasons. What season is this?
This is season 7, 9.
Is it really?
Either season 7, season 9. I can't remember now.
It's 9.
But
it can't be that.
I think it is.
Yeah. Well, I'm about to look it up now that we're arguing. Now that we're arguing.
It's been on 4, 5, 15 years.
Yeah. As of, let's see, as far as come on, season 7. Yeah, it's been 7 seasons.
Okay. So I'm 3 seasons behind. That's all.
It's over.
And honestly, they should have ended this probably 2 seasons ago, because I think it was season 5 where they hit a stride. It was just okay, there's no topping that.
Yeah.
I think it was season. Yeah, I think it was season 5, season 4, or season 5. I can't remember whichever one it was. And I didn't even really fuck with Scandal like that, only because it's Shonda Thursday. My wife watches all those shows on Thursday anyway.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Okay.
And I can't get the big TV.
Hey, look, ain't nothing wrong with that. That's fine. I've stopped over many of places, and they were like, "You know what time it is?" I was like, "Well, I mean, can I at least have some time?" I walked into that one.
This is Mr. Nasty time.
Mr. Nasty. Wow.
Oh, man.
That was not what I meant,
you know how moist them Shonda shows get you?
I love them Shonda shows. Good God.
Oh, man. But no, it was such, like, the ending was so flat, and then just the way a character died didn't make any sense. Like, granted, the character's naive.
Yeah.
But that was just flat out stupid. And the fact that no one stopped this character from getting themselves killed made even less sense.
Okay.
Especially he was in the bed with one of his with one of the characters, and he said what was going on for him before he got out of bed. Yeah. And she didn't stop him not once. Yeah. It was like, "Hey, no, nigga, go back to sleep. Okay. We'll deal with this the next day." Yeah. That was stupid. Okay. And then like for things like things were sort of wrapped up, but it just felt so just Yeah. And it just kind of felt like not putting the blame on Shonda. Not putting the blame on Shonda. Oh, well, spoiler. Not putting the blame on Shonda, but it was just kind of seemed like the writers and they're like, all right, it's like, y'all ready to clock out?
Yeah, it's time. This Netflix check just cleared. I'm out this.
It was time.
She said this Netflix check just cleared. I'm out this bitch. Let's start right here.
Or the one writer that was supposed to finish up the finale was like Will Smith off of Fresh Prince. Where he's sitting there just looking at an empty living room.
He's like,
and he's got to be the one to come up with the ending.
He's got one piece of paper. He's like, all right, just scribble some shit down, leave it on the floor, and walk out the door.
So that was
Shonda's desk already packed up.
I'm okay with him dying. He should have died like 6 seasons ago.
Honestly,
is that one dude still on the show? The guy from
no, he died.
Ghost?
No, what? What?
I'm glad you was like Ghost.
From the breakdancing movie with Chris Brown.
Columbus Short?
Yeah.
No, they killed him off camera.
Oh.
Due to that whole controversy
Wasn't
with
he, like,
his
tripping or something?
Yeah, it was some shit like domestic abuse or like him going crazy or like,
he went, like nuts.
drugs or something. Like he went crazy in real life.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
Well,
did he really go crazy in real life?
Well,
yeah, he had like some.
He had some problems. He had some problems. Like there was like it was like a domestic abuse thing.
He was the one that was like the next person to Olivia, right? To Pope.
Oh, you mean this?
Oh, what is the character name? Yeah. Shit.
I mean, in the hierarchy, like he was the
Harrison.
Okay, Harrison. I thought was dope on the show.
Yeah, I didn't care. I didn't care too much for his delivery, where he was kind of raspy, but he was always speaking really fast, and then blah 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 blah. And that got a little tired after a while.
That's weird.
It was kind of cool because it's like, fuck it. Shonda characters, they're just walking monologues basically. So it made sense for his character to kind of be like that, just kind of be really like, if I'm talking too fast, you're listening too slow type of deal.
That works.
Get it together.
Oh, that's funny.
But they killed him off after that whole issue with the domestic violence or like the threats towards his girlfriend or wife. I can't remember what it was. And then like something with him with drugs or something like that. So like a season finale, he was in peril. And then the series or season premiere, I was like, oh no, he died. They found his body in the ocean.
Like,
didn't like no
nigga what?
No, that was it. It was just like moving on. Now the next.
What I was hoping was like
Dragon Ball Z.
All right, yeah, exactly.
I was hoping it was like, oh no, it was just a body double or something like that. It was mistaken identity. They just blew whoever they killed this person and just like messed him up, messed his face up, fingerprints and all that stuff gone. So where they assumed it's him, and then he pops up. Yeah, pops up like a season later.
We just got the demo records
or the last season.
Yeah, oh, that'd be good.
At the end, the final season. I was hoping he'd make an appearance, but nope, that nigga died.
We got the dental records back. It wasn't him. And he walks in.
But to not shit on Scandal so much. Black Lightning was amazing. Especially for it to sit there and just kind of show. You don't really see superhero families as much on TV,
right?
And for them to sit there and put that dynamic in there, especially like the wife being the only human in there, right, in the household, and then trying to adjust and just kind of pushing Jefferson Pierce's character to kind of go like to get back into retirement, which was kind of what led to them splitting up in the first place. Yeah, it's not often you sit there and see a divorced couple
Yeah.
And then like them kind of like patching things back up, and maybe they will get back together, maybe they won't.
Right.
And then like raising two daughters that are also developing superpowers, and then the social commentary on it as well, as far as like sign of the times.
It seemed like that show was really good. I'd always seen people talking about it. I don't like his suit that much.
No, I like the flashback suit that he had.
Yeah.
I mean, just because it looks so much more closer to the comic book.
Right.
But it's fine. Like it's starting to it's kind of getting to the point where it's like, it's fine. And also, like they mentioned, it was like, well, how come the daughters couldn't recognize him when he first showed up? And it's like, you this tall ass nigga with a beard, and so you don't recognize him. But they kind of played it off as like, because of his suit and because of the electricity, it made it kind of obscured his face.
It's like the Flash's fast moving face thing.
Kind of, yeah. It was like all that brightness and all that electricity flowing around. It kind of made it difficult for like to make out his face,
okay.
Which would explain why the police chief, who I think is now commissioner, there was a lot of parallels with Batman at that point when it came to that person.
Yeah.
He's now the Commissioner Gordon of I forget what that city is called in there. So now he didn't recognize him, even though that should have been obvious, especially since he's seen or been chasing Black Lightning for however many years before he retired.
Right.
So yeah,
Nice.
Flaws aside, that was a really good season. But I like the fact that there weren't so many people talking about it, and Blurred Vision, the people that I got in that debate about with Black Panther.
Yeah.
Well, no, I didn't get in the debate with them.
Yeah.
The comment section.
Right.
With an idiot on there.
Yeah.
There was a person that straight up voted that they didn't like Black Lightning, and the reason they straight up gave it was like, there are too many black people in it.
I mean, we've dealt with this multiple times.
Am I allowed to say threats on here?
No.
No, man.
This is evidence.
Yeah. Plus, it's unnecessary. We've been dealing with this shit for years.
Your Honor, if you listen to episode number 93
of OafDiscussions,
Groundball podcast episode, you'll clearly see the
Groundball Homerun podcast episode.
Okay, all right. This is how I'll say it. Do better.
Don't you? Okay.
That's fine.
Okay. Yeah. That's your reasoning. That's your line of reasoning.
That's really all we could do.
I really tried to stop him, but I was
who's the dude that whitewashes all the movies? Who's notorious for it?
I like the idea of
notorious for whitewashing?
Yeah, whitewashing movies. All the movies he does.
I like the idea of you like...
Or being a whitewashed character?
No. He whitewashes all the movies.
Being a washed
He came up with Egypt, or all his movies is pretty much he'll take anything black and just make it all white people.
I don't know.
Nothing pops to mind?
Like a producer? Director?
Is it a producer?
Yeah, like a producer, director.
I don't know.
I would have just blamed that on Hollywood. I would have chalked that up to Hollywood, period.
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't know anybody specifically.
All of them?
All right. So, if you don't like seeing black people in things,
kick rocks.
Because there's too many.
Yeah.
Go watch all white films and enjoy yourself and stay there. Don't enjoy any other good content.
But they're taking all the white characters out of movies and shows now.
Nope.
These fucking SJWs, they're hurting my feelings.
Watch the old stuff, okay? Go watch the old reruns. Go watch black and white movies. Yeah. Do whatever you want. Go watch.
Then I gotta look at the gray.
Gray's not white. I can't be pleased.
Nope. If it's gray, don't even watch that. Keep it all white. Watch mine.
Just look at some Xerox papers.
Yeah,
just look at Xerox papers for 2 hours straight.
Blank canvas.
Just do that.
That's all you gotta do.
Okay.
That's funny.
You're welcome.
So stupid.
I was polite. All right, it's Sunday. I was being polite. All right.
Oh, God.
Once again, here we are, almost an hour, 20 minutes, and we just finished talking about how our weeks were. And just the two of us. We haven't even gotten to Brent.
No, we did. We talked about
Brent.
Brent went first. Brent went first.
He was first. Wait,
yeah, Brent went first.
Yeah, I'm always first, sir.
The God of War fog just
okay.
God of War fog settled on the podcast.
I thought the call ended in this. Okay,
no,
yeah,
that was
this episode.
Yeah.
That was this episode. This took place.
The God of War fog just like.
So can I transition?
All right. Well, what you transitioning to, sir?
Yeah.
There was a name of one named Cole, maybe J. Cole.
Okay.
I listened to the J. Cole album as well.
KOD. For those unaware. They got released on 420 with the ironic theme going on for the album.
So I'm curious what you all's thoughts were on this album, because I want to listen to it again. First time I listened to it, I felt like it was trash.
Cool.
But I couldn't figure out why I thought it was trash. So I was like, maybe that's not an accurate depiction of this album.
That's funny.
I think it's rubbish. I don't know.
Jesus, I feel like that's worse.
Rubbish is trash. It's just with an accent.
It's like British trash.
It's sweet smelling rubbish. It's just like I just don't.
That's just overseas trash.
Like,
that's so funny.
It was bland.
You could have just said it was. I think it was basura. I don't know if that's better than trash. She's like, no, it's not. That's just Spanish trash.
Like this is how I feel. It was like Karen's potato salad.
That's so funny to me.
All right,
that's hilarious.
It just didn't have nothing.
I love that so much.
You know what I'm saying? Now maybe I'm an outlier on here. What did y'all think about this album?
It's my favorite J. Cole album.
Is it?
Yeah.
We go from one extreme to the other.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it 100% is.
Okay.
It 100% is. And like I've said multiple times, and I will say it again, the production got me first.
Really?
Yes. Because when that KOD beat dropped, I was like, all right, we're here. I am on board. And then when we moved on to ATM and Motivate, I was like, okay, like I guess I could say the thing that'll get me probably quicker than anything will be without lack of a better term, a simple bop. A simple bop will always get me.
What would you two-stepping with orange juice or something? What the hell are you doing?
A simple bop. Like for instance.
I'm not mad at that.
Is it Crime Mob?
Crime Mobs don't do simple bops.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do.
Come in the club, I shaking my drink.
Yeah, like that. When that beat starts, that starts with a simple bop.
Which one?
Boom, boom, just that bell.
KOD?
Just that bell.
Oh,
no. Talking about Crime Mob.
Oh,
just that bell. Just that bell. Like that is a simple bop. Pretty much this album has a lot of that there's a simpleness to it as far as like the production.
Yeah.
But then also he's talking about like every song has a clear theme, whatever, and it goes through its thing.
That's true.
I did because like going into it, I was like, oh, this was kind of quick, and I heard he put it together real quick. So honestly, at first I was kind of like, I don't know, I wonder how this is gonna be. But I really did enjoy it, especially like I said, ATM, KOD, Motivate. I really like. I like Photograph. The last song I fucking loved. I think it's really
like
good.
The outro.
Yeah, the outro slash what's it? The fall of.
You know, it's interesting. 1985 intro to the Fall Off. I'm guessing that's supposed to lead into like his next album.
Exactly, that's what he said. Okay. But he said he's not saying anything else about it right now. But that is exactly what it does. It leads into his next album. What the hell? That's weird. Sorry, I saw new releases. There's some weird album called Eat the Elephant. But yeah, brackets I really like. Once an Addict, Friends. I liked Once an Addict was okay. That's one of those ones. I mean, it's an interlude, so I mean, I feel like that's one I can skip pretty much regularly. Photograph, fine, but I did like it. But yeah, the whole Kill Edward thing was interesting too. It was like from the jump, everybody was like, "It's just fucking cold, pitch down." We get it.
Thank you. Okay.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I figured as much.
Yeah. It's 100% cold. Pitch
Thank
down.
you.
That's
I figured. That's what I was saying because
it's literally the same thing as if Kendrick named that
Kung
weird
Fu Kenny
voice.
Featuring.
Yeah. If Kendrick named that little weird voice that he does.
Yeah.
Which is an interesting thing because I saw a lot of people talking about it, and then I saw a friend of mine at work that was talking about it. He said there's a lot of beats on this that he could hear Kendrick on easily. If he would have gotten a feature on this, I feel like Kendrick would have fit perfectly. On a lot of these simplistic, yeah, right. On a lot of these, especially coming off Damn, I think helps influence that even more.
Okay.
Because like I said, there's nothing like a simple bop. And a simple bop.
You should have sipped the champagne.
I know. I wish I had
not champagne or wine.
I wish
glass,
I had something to sip.
But
that
simple bop.
And we know now, like most of the time, I think he did pretty much. I don't know if he did all of this, but I think he might have. Cole does a lot of his production.
Yeah.
So he kind of gets in his own, like, that's kind of his style. It's like that kind of simplicity, but it still has enough to, like, carry through, and I enjoy it. I mean, like, of course, like, GMOD is, like, one of his, that's a fucking great beat. But, yeah, I did. I really enjoyed this album because, like, the way I basically looked at it was a lot of, at least like for instance, going back to like his last album, I felt like that was good as a whole, but I felt like if I was going to listen to it, I needed to listen to all of it as one piece. When I go back to like Born Sinner, there's specific songs that I want to hear. Like for instance, like the one with Kendrick on it.
Are we talking about Truly Yours or
no? What was it?
For Your Eyes Only.
For Your Eyes Only. Like when I listen to that, like I want to listen to the whole thing. Forest Hill Drive, there's like specific songs that when I listen to it now, I'm going to listen to those specific songs.
That is my favorite J. Cole album.
That's probably a lot of people's, honest. I think that's probably a lot of people's, to be honest. But then going back to like Born Sinner, like I want to hear specific stuff. I mean, like for instance, the one with Kendrick, me and my bitch took a little trip. Like I love that.
Forbidden Fruit.
I love that song so much.
Yep.
But yeah,
like Power Trip.
Yeah, I did. I liked it. I like this album a lot. Now getting into, I mean, we'll get into another topic that we had kind of bleeding off this, but seeing the video for ATM made me like it even more.
Oh, I didn't even catch that he had a video for that.
Okay. It's great. If you love old school like Missy Elliott, Busta Rhymes video, you will adore that video. I mean, it's great for that. But it made me not only like the album more, it made me like that song especially more. But yeah, what do you think, brother?
I gotta be on the fence between both of y'all, or y'all two extremes.
We didn't plan this.
I enjoyed this album more than For Your Eyes Only.
Okay, cool.
That said, I still didn't enjoy this album.
Okay.
There are a couple tracks here and there that I enjoyed, which is funny. The one that you were talking about, skipping the interlude, Once an Addict, where he was talking about his mother, correct?
That was a good, it's a powerful
that was
song.
One of my favorite. That was one of my favorite tracks on there.
Nice.
Ironically, it was like, really, that's the interlude? That kind of gives it a throwaway type of feel to it.
Right, yeah.
When you label it like that, and especially since, like, what interlude is 3 minutes long?
Yeah, it's a long ass. It's a fucking song.
Had it been like 90 seconds is supposed to be an interlude, like
song.
At most.
It's a song. It's
at
funny.
Most.
Yeah.
That sounds like fucking XXXTentacion's. Like every track of his is basically an interlude.
That's funny. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
There's a few songs on here, like KOD. I think I listened to it twice. I should have listened to it a third time before coming back here.
I listened to it like 10 times, probably.
Yeah, the 1985 I enjoyed. It's just a lot of it. As far as when you mentioned, I'm pretty sure he didn't produce everything on here.
I don't think everything. Yeah.
But as far as with that said, if he produced most of it, it had a very uniform feel to it.
Right. Absolutely.
Kind of to his detriment a little bit, because it didn't feel all that because it kind of felt
samey,
uniform. Yeah, samey,
right.
And it just didn't feel all that dynamic.
I can see that.
Like from beginning to end, you can't really. Like, matter of fact, the two tracks, ATM and then Motivate, they sounded like almost the exact.
They're the same fucking song.
That's what I was about to say.
It's the same fucking song.
It was basically Blue off of Sire.
Oh, yeah.
It was basically Blue off Sire.
Yeah. Which helps because I really like that song, but it is basically the same song. It's a long fucking. It's a 6-minute.
It may as well be
song that should have Kendrick on.
Yeah. Or it should have been ATM/Motivate. 6 songs, yeah, or like on all one track.
Yeah.
Should have.
It's close.
I figured as much with Kill Edward, and I was like, I don't hear anything different. Why would he sit there and go through all this trouble of finally having a feature if he was like, this is just a pseudonym.
Nah, it's just him.
Yeah. So thank you for reiterating or for proving me right. Honestly, this was just okay.
Okay.
It didn't blow me away. I mean, compared to like what albums have we talked about this year?
We've done Cardi B's. We've done
Jean Grey.
Everything's Fine. We've done
KOD now.
Logic's little mixtape joint.
Oh yeah, Tarantino too.
Mm-hmm. Which kind of fell in the same place. I feel like this was going to fall into, at least for you, is kind of that middle of the road.
Yeah, like nothing new's been put. Like nothing's really been pushed. Nothing's really kind of been expanded or improved on.
Right.
I mean, it's just another thing to log onto the category, or not category, but the catalog.
Catalog, yeah. It's very interesting because like we've always seen, and a lot of people brought this up in articles that they've written this past week, especially when this album has came out, and Cole's always been a very polarizing person. And he has.
Well, some of it seems like it's just for jokes.
Well, yeah, a lot of times there is, but I think there is a genuine polarization to his music a lot of times, and there are like people that are like at two extremes. In a way, we kind of saw the example of that here just a second ago, which is funny. But he also has a fervent fan base similar to like what Logic has, where it's like these people are fucking down for him, and they will not take no for an answer type thing. I'm not. Yeah, I know it's weird. I know.
You just reminded me the topics. Yeah. The topics on here, like granted, as far as like KOD, were as far as like the theme goes, a lot of it involving drug addiction.
Right. Yeah.
And I could kind of see where some people go like, "Yeah, he's speaking that real shit." Blah blah blah. It's like these youngins sit there and need to listen to him, and other people would be kind of going like, "He's a little too preachy." And he's kind of sitting there just like, just think it just rap. People trying to have fun. It reminds me, I forgot about this until I like Friday night when I was the first time or second time I listened to it. This is similar to Dear White People.
Okay.
In the sense that the people that already know what it's trying to teach,
right,
they're behind it, and they're going to sit there and try to push it,
right,
and it's going to go like, yeah, well, it needs to be, yeah, it's like, but they already understand it, they already know what's going on. Mm-hmm. But the people that this is meant to be educating, or the think that this is meant to kind of influence or kind of like wake people up on, they're going to sit there and push it away because they're just kind of going to reject it off the top because they're going to feel like they're being attacked.
Right. Which I think is where his polarization comes from across the board.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people say he's always on like a high horse.
I can see that.
This album is potential catnip for the wash nigga. In a very real way. Because of exactly what you just said. If you don't want to hear about what he's trying to like say and get message across, then you're going to hate it regardless. Now, that's not the only reason you're going to hate it. You can judge it on a very real musical...
Subjective. Objective, pardon me.
Yeah, objective way, like what Brent did. Brent's not out here simping lean and popping pills and like, no, fuck that nigga. He's judging off his experience and his experience with music in general. And that is an interesting thing that I think lends to his polarization, that you can, like, some people look at him, like I said, like he's always on a high horse from the jump. But then also there are a lot of people, especially with this album, that will look at it in a way where if they don't want to hear the messages he's trying to deliver, then they're not going to like it. And the people that are behind the message that he's trying to deliver, and God, if they're in his fan base already, they're going to fucking champion for it until their fucking voice goes hoarse.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been an interesting thing, and I enjoyed it. I guess because I like the fact that, because I feel like 4 Years Eyes Only. I'll turn the sound off. Why did it still go off? That's weird. Because 4 Your Eyes Only, like, I feel like was real. Like, it was some heavy stuff in there, but then also some stuff that was like, it was some regular,
folding clothes.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Some people was like, man, I hate folding clothes.
Yeah,
the song and the activity. And it was just like, oh, well, I'm kind of one or the other. Right. I hate folding clothes, but I like listening. But I like folding. Shit.
But then on the other side of that argument, the same exact argument, people are like, man, I hate folding clothes, but I can see the reason why that would help a young sister out or my girlfriend out. I love J. Cole because he's so relatable. That's the other side of that polarization. Yeah. That's what happens to a lot of his stuff. You're either on that one side or the other. A lot of times people jump, like they get on that side, and that's where they're entrenched at, and they will not be moved. That's the interesting thing about the polarization. It is a will not be moved type situation, where if you're with him in his fan base or his fans or stans, you're in a position of like, you're hunkered down. And then if you're on the other side where you don't like it, you're like, no, I'm fine. Like, you're like, no, like, I don't like it. It's trash. And here's why I think it's trash. And they're like, but that's why it's good. But that's why it's trash. And then you're like, both of you guys are fucking not getting anywhere.
And it's like, fuck J. Cole. It's like, fuck boring ass nigga.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And that was the interesting thing I saw, that a lot of people, that was the exact words a lot of people use, is not, they would, especially the people that wrote about the thing, that had a negative opinion about it, they were quick to first and foremost be like, I think he's one of the best like lyricists and one of the best MCs of our generation, but sometimes he's boring. That's always the people that are writing about it in an objective way, in a way that's not like biased. Yeah. They're always quick to be like, no, like he's fucking great, but at times I get bored, and that's perfectly all right. The other thing that I saw that was an interesting point, like people were saying, specifically this guy was saying he didn't like the album, but he's liked stuff of his, like really, really liked stuff of his in the past. But he said a lot of times what he finds is that he finds J. Cole, the person, more interesting than his music. Yeah. And he specifically pointed out 21 Savage and Nipsey Hussle as two other people that he puts in that same boat. Where that when you see stuff where you get to see them, especially when you think about like his documentaries,
like they are more entertaining than their art.
Exactly, yeah. Which I can see that, especially looking at Cole's documentaries, and then looking especially like 21 Savage and his Vice documentary. Like I would watch a fucking show every day with him because he's funny and he's set in his ways and he's been through some shit. Yeah, and the same thing with Nipsey. He does a lot of stuff, and then he's been through some shit and he's seen some shit and he has some experience. But then at the same time,
such a mind, like such a
But at the same time, like his music, sometimes you might find
it ain't for you.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, with that being said, though,
ratings.
I think I'm gonna go gold on this one for me at least.
Man, gold give it minus. A Wakanda, man. Give it vibranium.
No, I can't. Man. I can't go that high. Like
okay,
I have a specific standard where I know that goes, and yeah. But yeah, I would say gold for me. What are you gonna say?
I'm gonna say silver, just on the fact that it wasn't trash to me. Yeah. But it wasn't great to me. It was just just mediocre.
Okay. Brent, what you say? Rubbish. Copper. What is it? Copper?
Now there's trash and there's copper.
Oh, there's trash and copper.
So
no, that's what I'm saying. I thought there was copper before trash. Right.
No. Oh, there is no copper.
Oh, there's not.
It's bronze.
No bronze. No. Shit. Got the wrong element.
If you wanted to sit there and just kind of like throw him, you were trying to throw him a bone.
I was trying to think of what was before trash.
Before trash, there's copper or bronze. God damn it!
I know I keep doing it. Yeah.
So it's bronze.
I blame you.
Trash.
Bronze, trash.
There's trash. Well, if we're ascending, it's trash, bronze, silver, gold, platinum.
I'm gonna give them a rubbish bronze.
Okay. A dusty bronze.
No, I'm gonna give them bronze. Like if I'm being fair, okay. I'm gonna give them bronze.
Okay.
This didn't move the needle for me in any way. That's not to say that there's not some nuggets on there for people. Like there's some production ones I'm like cool.
Vote. Okay.
What'd you change it to?
I'm changing it to bronze too.
Okay.
Because bronze makes way more sense as a mediocre album.
Yeah.
Like
this is
like I can't think of why it should be trash. I feel it's trash. Right. But I can't and since I can't do that, then I can't give it trash. Like it's not the worst album.
Yeah.
But of his albums, this would be the Yeezus for me. Like I would make this a coaster. Like this would get scratched up so my other CDs don't get scratched up in the car.
Why don't you just sell it?
Huh?
Why don't you just sell it?
He probably couldn't get that much money back for
it. Because I don't want to give you something I don't like.
It ain't GameStop.
Well, I guess that's true.
You know what I'm saying? Like I don't want to give you something I don't like. You know what I'm saying? I feel like if I give you trash, you're gonna be like, "Dang, for real?" Like
Brent's always giving me this.
Dog, if GameStop sit there and buying CDs from like albums,
yeah, you get 50 cents.
No,
man. But no,
you owe them money somehow.
Yeah. That'll be $2, bitch. Wait a minute.
But you know what I'm saying? Hopefully I listen to it again. I'm gonna listen to it again.
Okay.
And hopefully something changes or my ear clicks and hears something else. I don't think it is. So I'm gonna go with bronze right now, with potential to be trash for me.
Okay.
But I think it's bronze. I think it's a solid bronze.
Okay. And cool. I apologize for flip-flopping, but yeah, bronze makes more sense.
I think so. Yeah, absolutely.
If I'm gonna consider it mediocre.
Okay.
But cool. The way you explained it, I understand why you gave it gold. Like I'm like, okay. All right.
Yeah.
I got no beef with that.
Right, okay.
So, the next topic.
Yeah.
Oh, with that said, congratulations to Kendrick Lamar for winning the Pulitzer Prize for Damn. Yeah. Not the album I would have thought to win it, but
no, I don't understand.
But it might have been. Well, I mean, it's a good album.
Yeah, it is.
But compared to Pimp a Butterfly,
I mean, dude, like even Untitled.
I mean, but granted, To Pimp a Butterfly did come out 2015.
That's true. Yeah.
And that's probably he's the first rapper to win a Pulitzer. He's the first, probably the first mainstream artist in like a long fucking time, if at all.
It's been a while
to win a Pulitzer.
Yeah.
So shout out to him. Yeah. But staying on the topic of music, I posed this question. I can't remember how I came to this point. No, that's a lie. I know exactly what made me come to this point, which I will explain when we get further into this topic.
Okay.
What is a music video that you watched that either made you like a song or made you like the music video way better than the song?
ATM.
Okay.
Get that out of the way.
By J. Cole.
By J. Cole. Yeah, sorry. The album's rather new, so I hope I don't want to confuse people. ATM off of J. Cole album, definitely. I liked the song when I first heard it, but I didn't. When I got to see the visual of the pretty much a real life representation of the cover art, and then the kind of funny, goofy theme, the way the video was executed in a very old school, like Busta Rhymes, Missy Elliott way, then that made me like it even more.
I got one.
What you got? Let's do one each.
Daft Punk, Around the World.
Oh my God, that's a good one. That's a good one.
So
I thought you were gonna do what's the name?
Which one?
The anime one.
Stronger?
No, not Stronger. God, not. Oh my God, what the fuck is that song called? I gotta look it up. Sorry.
When you come up with it, let it just say.
I got you.
So Daft Punk, Around the World. I saw the video, and normally a video like that, because I had no context, no nothing. One more time? I was just
one more time. One more time. I'm sorry. Yeah, one more time. Yeah.
One more time.
Yeah, that anime video, that is really good. I like
Oh, okay. That and the Gorillas. That was my other one.
Oh, what? Feel Good Inc.
Clint Eastwood. I'm feeling sad. The video made me like that song 10 times more. But no, Daft Punk, Around the World. I was just getting into Daft Punk. I seen that video, and it was so oddly weird that it was like I kind of like fell in love with it. Okay. It's like, the repeating hook, all that. I started to feel good. You know what I'm saying? Like that song just kept playing. It's like din, 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 din. Like, like it's got that nice bop.
A simple bop.
It's got a simple bop.
Gotta say it like Martha Stewart. It's a good thing.
It's a good thing. It's a simple bop. And that was the song for me. That was like instantly when I seen the video, I was like, I gotta hear this song. And now every time I hear that song, I think of the video and kind of like smile a little bit.
Nice. All right, Webb, what you got?
Okay. Well, I'm gonna avoid the one where I'm pretty sure we got an overlap on.
Okay.
So the reason why I came up with this topic to begin with was because I heard this song on Discover Weekly on my Spotify list.
Okay.
And it was Campfire by Eminem featuring I can't remember the other dude's name. It was all right. I was like, I could sit there and see. It was like, yeah, I could see kind of like a little kind of nodding your head to a hyphy beat to it.
It's Injury Reserve featuring Eminem.
Thank you.
Injury Reserve is one of I stumbled upon them like a year and a half ago, and I fucking love those guys.
Okay, so I listened to it and I was like, it's all right. Yeah, I can kind of see like a little, almost like a second hyphy.
Oh yeah,
like a second coming of hyphy for that.
Yeah,
and it was like it's decent. Thought nothing of it until I saw the video for it.
You talking about Campfire?
It's so good.
Or anime? Hold on, let me.
Amine first.
Amine. Well, I'm not saying anime.
No.
It's Amine.
Amine.
It's AMINE apostrophe with the accent mark over it. Oh, speaking of accent marks,
what?
Folks are trying to get Stephen Amell out the paint because for Beyonce.
What?
Yeah, the Beehive went off on him trying to cancel him.
Why? What did he do?
He was sitting there saying he was enjoying it.
Oh, okay.
And then, from what I remember, he forgot to put the accent mark over the E at the end.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
And he made a joke. He made a joke about mixing that up, or made a joke about it. And then the folks were sitting there trying to go like, "See, this is why we can't stand white people. They're sitting there trying to make fun of black names and blah 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 blah." And I was like, "Nigga, what?"
You're like, "Whoa, dude."
It's like, did you really throw a think piece off of a misquoted or off a typo in a tweet?
Right. It's like,
I don't ever put the E on her name.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I don't do that because, like, hell, I don't even do
that
for my sister.
Right, I gotta hold that button down.
Her name's Sade, SADE accent mark over there.
Right,
I'm not gonna sit there and put that shit on there when I text her or sit there and say a comment on there.
You know your name.
Hell, I barely capitalize names when I'm typing.
Exactly. Yeah.
Fuck, I look like worried about an accent mark, which I can't even remember the name of it.
Exactly.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
Yeah,
I think I've seen that video before.
That's fine.
With the pink hair.
Oh yeah, campfire. And then like the skit and the skit in the middle.
God,
I don't want to spoil it because y'all have because like that takes away the whole joke.
Yeah,
but watch when you watch the video, and then when that second verse comes in, and him in his wig, it's like, campfire, I'm a scary little nigga. I just busted out laughing at that part.
I love it so much,
and I kept rewinding it just to that part. It was campfire. I'm a scary little nigga. And for him to sit there just do like that with his wig on, I'm
telling you, I love Injury Reserve. So like all the Injury Reserve stuff is like that. And Amine fits perfectly with them.
Oh wow,
dude, they're so funny, man.
Yeah,
they're so good. I love all their stuff.
All right, next round.
Whew. I was gonna see now. I want to throw in an Injury Reserve video because I just thought about one that's one of my favorite video concepts. But I will go ahead and do the second one I have right now, which is kind of weird.
When we're done with all these rounds, I got a music question for you all.
Okay.
Adele's "Hello." It was the first time I ever heard that song. Adele's "Hello." First time I ever heard that song was through the video, and it made the song like fucking astronomically, like it was like a fucking masterpiece.
Yeah.
Then of course it got played too much, and now I don't want to hear it again. But that video elevated that song like fucking up here, which a couple of times, I don't even say a couple, I'll say a few times in my life that's happened where the first time I've ever heard a song has been the music video, which does something completely different with that experience. Because like we say, a lot of times with these, we're talking about like hearing the song and maybe kind of liking it and then seeing the video and then it's stepping it up.
Yeah.
So when you experience it that first way, then it's like, oh shit. Because it's nice because most people, most of us as just humans, what we can do is like what Brent was talking about with his first choice, is even after we've seen that video for the first time and experienced that song for the first time, which helps that video be, or helps that song be on another level, even when we go on and hear that song again, we can always visualize that video in our heads, which then hopefully makes the song better for the life of you listening to it.
Right.
Which I always like, and it's usually what happens. But yeah, with that being said, Brent, what you got?
Oh, I was okay. Go ahead.
No, Webb, go ahead. Go ahead. I'll take last. Go ahead.
My bad.
All right. Next one. Actually, what you reminded me of is like the first time I ever heard or seen a video before I heard the song.
Right.
The Weeknd by Starboy.
Oh, okay. You mean Starboy by The Weeknd?
No, I meant The Weeknd by Starboy. He made that much of a dramatic change to his hair,
I just like
his
that.
style,
That's good.
having Daft Punk on there. That yes, I meant Starboy by The Weeknd.
I like that.
Especially for him to sit there and literally kill himself.
Yeah,
which he does a lot in these music videos lately. But yeah, he sit there and pretty much killed himself. A new look, new sound, and all that other stuff for this album that we didn't really know was coming out until that video.
Until it came out, yeah.
I'm sorry, Brent, go ahead.
Okay, so, rule. Is it rule?
Don't ruin it.
But now
the battery on my camera's about to die.
Okay, I'll make it quick. The song that made this next song for me was what does the fox say?
I've never seen that.
When I finally seen that video, it made me hate the song.
I've actively avoided that shit.
Oh no! So the first time I was with you, was you there?
Who, me?
We was at Soundbar. We was at Soundbar somehow.
Oh yeah.
And we got a whole like Asian crew, whatever. We out. Like, they don't tell me what sound bars are. It's basically like a gay club.
Yeah.
But they didn't tell me that. Like, they try to disguise it. But you can listen to old episodes. You can listen to the first episode and hear about that.
Yeah.
And they played What Does the Fox Say? Mm-hmm. And I heard this like weird song playing in the background, and I'm like, maybe I drank too much, because he's like moo, saying weird stuff. And then I watch.
Is he making animal noises?
Everybody in the room go bonkers.
Yeah.
Like when that first beat dropped.
That's funny.
And I was like, what the hell is this? And it's like, meow, 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 meow. It was so annoying that I liked it. I saw the video, instantly hated that.
Yeah.
Instantly hated. I was like, what is this trash? Yeah. It is bad as, I wasn't drunk. It's this song.
He said stupid.
Yeah. So that's the song it made me dislike. That made me dislike a song.
That makes sense. I can see that. All right, well, what you got?
Okay. All right, fuck it. We'll do the overlap. I know we got this one.
Yeah.
All the Stars by Kendrick featuring SZA.
Oh, I actually didn't think about that. I thought it was all right.
By Kendrick.
Yeah.
That made you, it made you like it better than the song?
Like elevated even more. Like that song was already like on fucking stratosphere, but then like seeing the video was like, which is usually the way, because I'll honorable mention.
DNA with me. If it was Kendrick, DNA was that song for me.
Well, Humble's mine on that one too. But yeah, go ahead. What was you saying about All of the Stars? Because I definitely that makes perfect.
We've said this countless times on this previous episode before, where it was like the song was just okay.
Yeah.
But because of the visuals, as far as everything being so Afrocentric and it being a soundtrack to Black Panther, but not showing any of the like soundtrack footage, like typical like soundtrack songs.
Yeah, it's usually a trailer basically.
Yeah, and it's just all of that art that took place on there, and just showing it, and just kind of it elevated the song to make it where it made me enjoy it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And not be bothered by hearing it more often.
Absolutely.
Which, it's not on the radio as much as I would have thought. Go figure.
Yeah, right. Well, with that said,
honorable mention, Korn, Twisted Transistor.
Oh, shit.
Ooh.
Yes, that's fucking great.
Ooh.
Wow. That's good. Okay.
That shit was hilarious.
Yeah.
Wow, that's great.
Oh, another honorable mention. I Don't Give a Fuck with Lil Jon featuring Crazy Bone and Mystical.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's good.
Thank you.
That's a good one. That's a real good one. That's a real good one. Hey, Brent, can you save that question for next time?
Yup.
All right, cool.
OafDiscussions.com, at OafDiscussions on Twitter and Instagram. OafDiscussions, follow or check us out on any podcast that you can find.
Yep.
Comment on the group and fan page on Facebook.
Yeah, I'm at KN Kid Swift on Twitter. I'm at Future ASC on Instagram. You can find me at those places.
Brent, your
Facebook,
socials.
if you know where I'm at, then you know I'm there. Brent,
LL Cool B 22, LL0 or COOLB 22. You can find me damn near everywhere. Just put it in there, Liquid Soul. If you're trying to find me on games, Liquid Soul 87. Holla at me.
Web859, Web.859, Twitter and Instagram respectively. This is hilarious. We are 2 hours into this episode and we're trying to rush the fuck out of this just so the battery don't die.
You're welcome, guys.
We've got more batteries, but we don't want to have to put that gap in, guys. Thank you so much.
For following us, for rocking with us.
Peace.
Oh, tell us your favorite music video that you enjoyed the most in this. Let us know in the comment section. Any and all feedback, whether ratings or comments, we will reach out to you and discuss it in the next episode.
Absolutely.
Thank you for your time. Peace.
Peace.
Till we meet again.
Ladies and gentlemen, that has been Oaf Discussions. Please listen to us on Podbean, iTunes, Google Play now, Stitcher, audio episodes on YouTube as well. And so that's all we have today. Thank you very much for listening, and you enjoy the rest of your day.
Appreciate it. Peace.
There we are. Oaf Discussions pioneers.
Quickly
confirm.
Make the meme and then put the @ big thing on there with the stupid little graphic like every other goddamn internet comedian does. We got to get these views, baby.